Hello, my name is Dana, and I'm going to talk about the two different types of cells, which are the prokaryotic cell and the eukaryotic cell. Well, first we have the eukaryotic cell. The eukaryotic cell are defined as cells that contain organized nucleus and organelles, which are enveloped by a membrane and are the basis for unicellular and multicellular organisms. And there are some types of eukaryotic cell, which are the following ones. First, we have the plant cell. The plant cell is the basic unit of all plants, and they are the only one who produces his own food. Then we have the animal cell. The animal cell are the basic structural units of all animals' tissues and organs. Then we have the prostate cell. The prostate cell are a diverse group of organisms that are mostly aquatic and unicellular. And finally, we have the fungi cell. The fungi cell are the eukaryotic organisms that include microorganisms such as yeasts, molds, and mushrooms. And on the other hand, we have the prokaryotic cells. And the prokaryotic cell is a type of cell that does not have a true nucleus or membrane-bound organelles. Organisms within the dominions of bacteria and archaea are based on the prokaryotic cell, and organisms with prokaryotic cell are very abundant and make up much of Earth's biomass. Also, there are some differences between the prokaryotic cells and eukaryotic cells, which are the following ones. Well, first, the prokaryotic cell does not have a nucleus, but the eukaryotic cell do have a nucleus. Also, we have that the prokaryotic cell lack of organelles, and the eukaryotic cell have a membrane-bound nucleus, and the prokaryotic cell do not have one. Also, the prokaryotic cell is smaller and older than the eukaryotic cell, and basically the eukaryotic cell born from the prokaryotic cell.
The characteristics of all living things and the differences between the prokaryotic cell and the eukaryotic cell. First of all, the cell is the smallest unit of life, and all living organisms are made of cells. There are eight key characteristics that all living things share. Number one, are made of one or more cells. Number two, have a metabolism. Number three, maintain homeostasis. Number four, respond to stimuli. Number five, possess DNA as their genetic material. Number six, they grow. Number seven, they reproduce. And finally, number eight, they evolve. To continue, there are two cell types, the prokaryotic and the eukaryotic cell. The meaning of prokaryotic cell is before the nucleus, which means that it doesn't have one. It are only found in bacteria and archaea. Meanwhile, the meaning of the eukaryotic cell is true nucleus, which means that have a nucleus, and these form the structure of protists, fungi, plants, and animals. And here are three of the most recognizable differences between these cells. The number one is about the nucleus, which is that the prokaryotic cell does not have a nucleus delimited by a membrane inside which the genetic material is housed, and the eukaryotic cell has a nucleus perfectly defined surrounded by a double nuclear membrane formed from the endoplasmic reticulum. The second one is about the size. While the eukaryotic cell measures 100 microns, the prokaryotic cell only measures 10 microns. And the third one is about their organization. The prokaryotic cell is always unicellular, meanwhile the eukaryotic cell could be unicellular or multicellular.
Hello, my name is Ana Sofia, and I'm going to present the levels of organization and homeostasis. First, we have the levels of organization, which are the levels that make up life, and it goes from smallest to greatest. These levels start from the atom, then it goes to molecules, organelles, cells, tissues, organs, and it finally the systems. We have 10 different types of systems in our body. First, we have the integumentary system, which is the outer layer of the body. We have the skeletal system, which are the bones that are underneath the skin and the muscles. Then we have the muscular system, which is the one that permits the movement and it also maintains the posture of the body. We have the respiratory system, which is the one that helps us to breathe. We have the digestive system, which is the one that passes the nutrients that we obtain from the food to the blood and then it gets to the rest of the body. We have then the urinary system, which is the one that expels the urine and it also releases the toxins in the body. We also have the nervous system, which is the one that transmits the signals of the brain to the rest of the body. And we have the endocrine system, which is the one in charge of the hormones. And lastly, we have the reproductive system, which it varies depending on women and men, but it is in charge of helping the humans to reproduce. Now, passing on to homeostasis. Homeostasis is the process that the body follows in order to regulate itself, and this is to maintain a stability within it. And it also depends on the condition of the environment that surrounds it.
Hi, I am David Sanz, member of Team 1, and well, I'll present you the both topics that I choose. Well, the first is microscope history. I'll start with Seneca, who discovered that by using a transparent spherical container filled with water, it was possible to amplify the image we have from an object below the let's say output of the container. Well, this was approximately at the first year after Christ, a millennium after Allah Haytham published the Book of Optics, in which light is related to vision and the forming of images. In late 16th century, Hans and Zacharias Jensen were the first people creating a compound microscope. It reached 3 to 9 times the magnifying of the image of an object. In 1665, Robert Hooke designed a microscope with 3 lenses and an oil lamp that served like lighting source to get a better image. It reached 20 to 50 times of magnifying. After 2 years, Anton Leeuwenhoek created a series of microscopes of spherical lenses, 200 to 300 times magnified. And well, all of these people were pioneers of microscope creating. And after that, the Leeuwenhoek microscopes have evolved through time, and nowadays we have really precise microscopes. Yes. Well, the other topic, cell theory. I'll talk another time about Robert Hooke and Leeuwenhoek, due that they did the first investigations of cells, and well, I'll say that Leeuwenhoek reached to watch bacteria, unicellular organisms, sperm, and blood cells. Nevertheless, he was never recognized for his supports to science because not being a formed scientist. Well, through these facts and investigations, later in history, the advances in the cell theory and how did we understand it changed until until reaching the next four postulates that I'll read to you. Well, all living things are made up of cells. It means that any organism is made up from cells. Two is it is the physiological unit of every living being. Doesn't matter if it's just one cell, any organism is going to be made of cells. Three, all cells come from another pre-existing cell and similar to her. That's why we have reproduction. And four, the cell contains hereditary material, DNA, for all its morphological and physiological characteristics. So the genetics keep a, a bunch of characteristics similar between the new cell and the old cell. So it keep on with the species. And that's all. Thank you.
So, risks for teenagers our age. First is pregnancy is the process of a fetus developing inside a woman's body, resulting in a baby. Teenagers aren't ready to be mothers yet, so it's best to avoid pregnancy at such a young age and to mentally prepare for it for when you're older. Teen pregnancy can make girls drop off education to seek jobs, which isn't healthy for them, as they deserve to have a happy childhood. In Mexico, there's a high index of teen pregnancy, which can be fixed with sex education or to just make the taboo disappear. Addiction is when you have a strong physical or psychological need or urge to do something or use something. It is a dependence on a substance or activity even if you know it causes you harm. It can impact your daily life and the ones from those around you. Addiction can completely transform who you are and make you aggressive and violent. It can hurt your loved ones without you really knowing. For your health, it is better to completely avoid these substances or practices or to just use them very little and remember that everything in excess is really bad. Obesity is defined as an abnormal or excessive fat accumulation that presents a risk to health. A body mass index or BMI over 25 is considered overweight and from over 30 is considered obese. It can lead to several health complications or even death. It is important to have a healthy diet and to do exercise and to not fall into a sedentary lifestyle which can lead to obesity. These are only a few of these teen risks. There are not a lot, but these are the most common and the most important ones that we should know about. And it's better to keep them in mind so we can learn to avoid them and to make our lives way happier and healthier. And that's it. Thanks for watching.